The Neo Reality Entertainment brand expands with a relaunch of the Neo Reality Collective Pop Culture News Talk. Your host, Eric Brown, gives his insights and thoughts in the ever-expanding news world of comic books, professional wrestling, gaming, TV, and movies. Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniverse.
Today's edition of Neo Reality Collective is brought to you by Anchor.fm, a free distribution service podcasting hosting platform that allows you to record your podcast on your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and so much more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor.fm app or go to Anchor.fm to get started today. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Welcome back, everyone, to Neo Reality Collective. I'm your host, Eric Brown, and today we have a good freaking chunk of news that happened throughout the first half of this week of August. So, Malachi Black explains why Zelina Vega re-signed with WWE. So people have been going ahead on Twitter and a lot of other places calling her a sellout, saying that, and deleted her unionization tweet and how everyone felt like she disappointed everyone because she didn't really stand up for herself and whatnot. Well, Malachi Black has basically come out and said that, yeah, that's not how that happened. I was like, okay, Zelina wanted to return, that was one thing, but what he says here, and this is what he revealed. When the release happened, Johnny Ace, aka Laurinaitis, called me and even he was confused. My wife was crying because she knew. She was about to come back, and one of the main reasons she wanted to come back was because I was there, which was more or less the driving force, other than the promises they made her. Yeah. She came back for him. And then WWE fires him, where even Vince's own Inner Circle member, John Laurinaitis, is surprised. And now this recontextualizes why she came back, and I feel like her being called a sellout was already unfair, because it was like, well, she was, as far as we're informed, she didn't get any good offers, as far as we're aware of. But now that this is now out there, that Nick Khan, Vince, Kevin Dunn are poisonous to the point that they're now causing their own Inner Circle member Johnny Laurinaitis to go ahead and be all, what, that doesn't make even sense. We just got him back on TV, because this is part of this whole disconnect, because WWE apparently had this whole thing and whatnot where they were going to push him, and then there was this disconnect where Malachi Black couldn't get a straight answer from Vince, because apparently he knew right before the show, so that means that you wasted everyone's time. Thanks a lot, Nick Khan, you're certainly helping us. So, with all this recontextualization, I feel Zelina being harassed on social media was completely wrong to begin with, because I was like, we don't even know why she went back. She probably would have went back for Malachi, but then he was fired and she couldn't get out of it, or she wasn't given enough good offers, and her Twitch stuff was falling apart. So maybe that was the reason. I assume that was the reason. And yep, she went back for Malachi for Tommy End, and then they basically fucked them both over. Congrats. So now Zelina's in a position where she's stuck, and probably that interview with Talk Jericho is not going to be reached by certain people, and they're going to harass her still, so she's in a position where she loses either way. And I don't even know what promises they did offer her. All I know is that I think I wouldn't be surprised if she realized right then and there when Malachi Black, when Tommy End was fired, that yeah, we're screwed. But, yeah. As part of WWE's continued initiative to piss everyone off and fire people, Bray Wyatt, after his unceremonious firing by the hands of Nick Khan, that's my best guess, because even the people within WWE are like, wait, why was he fired? Because they know it wasn't budget cuts, so something clearly happened behind the scenes. And we all assumed it was probably because of mental health, because he's had a struggle with it for a while, and Brody's passing probably exacerbated it. So he was probably still in this processing stage, and was needed to clear his mind, get a fresh reboot on things. So Bray Wyatt posts a Twitter account on his Twitter account, a devil face, hinting that he is going to revitalize himself at the end of his no-compete clause, once the end of October comes around. I've said this. Look, I'm just knowing, like, I'm just like thinking to myself, man, that guy's gonna kill it in AEW. Like, I don't see him going anywhere else at the moment, because he will only go to AEW, I feel, because of Brody. If he pulls a swerve, that's going to be interesting. But I do think he's going to go to AEW just out of continuing on the legacy of Brody Lee, or at least until we get Brody Lee Jr. to come to the ring when he's old enough, and then he and Wyatt can have a match. Then we will all burst into tears and cry. So, yeah, Wyatt posted this tweet of a mask image that's clearly being in design phase, and even Kota Warren has committed that they're going to make another music if he ever wants it, along with the caption of, "You can't kill it." So, yeah, he's becoming the devil. Yeah, that's certainly something. I'm excited for what he brings next to the table. So, Anthony Ogogo, the governor, have been out of action for several months. Ogogo underwent surgery in early July, and now the factory's head, QT Marshall, is giving an update on his condition, telling Digital Spy, right now he's recuperating. We didn't really go into too much detail with it, but after one of the matches where Billy Gunn ended up slamming his head into the guardrail, he ended up getting hurt. So he's still recuperating. Obviously, when he comes back, he'll still be the same force he was when he left. He lost to Cody, and considering that they went ahead and made him look like, they turned this into a nationality stuff, even though Ogogo only brought it up once and that was it. And Cody makes it all about America, because Memorial Day was around the corner, because we have to do patriotism. I mean, like, even though the UK and the US are allies and buddies nowadays, at least as far as I'm aware of. But yeah, I'm hoping Anthony Ogogo could still provide that content of violence and uproarious fun. I'm curious to know what he does next when he gets back, but we'll see. So back to Bray Wyatt. Okay, so there has been a clarification on Fightful's report, so that sources close to Wyatt confirmed that his absence following WrestleMania had nothing to do with what were called falsely reported mental health issues. Also, Bray Wyatt is 100% healthy and able to wrestle. Fightful's report also stated that Bray Wyatt was busy heavily involved in adding new creative elements to his character, ready for a return during Raw this week at the time of this video. Wyatt was originally cleared to wrestle by WWE staff at some point before its release. So, yeah. This now recontextualizes a little bit of what the hell happened backstage. So there were reports going out that Wyatt was apparently becoming increasingly protective over his character. I'm like, can you blame him, honestly, after everything he had to go through for the last several years, only to get hot again? Then they were like, we gotta put the brakes on this, it's too over, we can't have anything organically over, because Vince cries about it at night in his sleep. So yeah, so I keep thinking something else went down behind the scenes. I'm not certain. This is just my thoughts. I wouldn't be surprised if Vince made the call because, well, how do I say this delicately? Vince hates his creativity. Like, Vince Russo, like, this kind of, if that is indeed the case, if the WWE management wanted to get rid of him because he was so creative and he wasn't a writer or he wasn't part of Vince's inner circle, as far as I'm aware, because I actually did see Bray Wyatt being a WWE lifer, even with AEW being around. But yeah, because Vince Russo believes, I know it's Vince Russo, but take it for what you will, he thinks the reason WWE doesn't give Wyatt the respect he's rightfully earned and the treatment he should be getting as a top tier face of the company villain is because he comes up with better ideas than the creative department, because, well, the creative department should be the ones that do the stuff, not Wyatt. He's the wrestler. He's supposed to go out there and get beaten up or beat people up. We can't have him be better than our writers. That would mean he's better than Vince in this. And we already know what happened to the last group of people that thought they were better than Vince. NXT was ruined for many in recent weeks. Also, my virtuous enviness of AEW UK scene is somewhat because AEW Plus, the subscriber service on FITE TV for $4.99, it's apparently including Rampage. And this is a $4.99 pack for FITE and gives subscribers access to every episode of Dynamite and Rampage, and including fans can also watch Dark and Dark Elevation on there, but the show's also available on YouTube for various reasons. But here's the thing. They're getting the unedited cut. They're getting basically the promotions cut without the pesky commercials. Can I have that? Like, I'm pretty sure you could convince America. I'm like, I think at least America would be interested in doing this. Like, I get AEW doesn't have, like, as far as I'm aware of, a major TV deal, as far as I'm aware of. I don't know. Last time I checked, they tried to do it, and then they failed miserably. But yeah, I was like, those people, they got them. They got the unedited cut, and we're only going to get the unedited cut once BR Live goes ahead and resumes when all the service migration's done. No! Yeah, I know. The only thing that I wish we can get is downloadable stuff, but that's a dream. And that dream sadly came at the cost of the WWE Network, because that was asking too much from us unless we go to the crappy Peacock service. So, remember WWE's plan to relocate the headquarters of Stamford, Connecticut? Well, there has been some delays. With COVID going ahead and screwing everything up, everyone realized, okay, we can't do that. And then WWE's evil plan to go ahead, okay, this is just me joking on this part, but WWE's evil plan to have the wrestlers destroy the entire headquarters in order to get away with, in order to get insurance money out of this, along with putting the property down with murder attempts, thanks Corbin, clearly has failed miserably, and now they have to move again because until late 2022. Damn you! Okay, I couldn't help myself on that. Like, I was like, I was kidding to myself with this idea. Like, we had the whole Money in the Bank cinematic match there for insurance purposes in order to destroy the building using the wrestlers as cattle, and then they can say, we didn't expect the damage to be this big, we thought they'd be responsible, and we definitely didn't expect Baron Corbin to murder 2 people and us having to find ways to explain how they survived without actually propping up with reasonable explanations. We suck! Oh god. So now WWE has to pay the full estimated total of $85 to $105 million to begin construction, as well as enhance the performance and production and technology infrastructure. So we're probably going to go with over $100 million. We're screwed. So, yeah, that happened. And now, because the NXT locker room can no longer go ahead and fight back because Vince is going to butcher NXT, to the point something depressing happened before the show, but I'll get to that in a moment. Recent releases of a report changing direction has been reportedly met with a negative response by the high-ranking executives at the USA Network. Okay. Adrian Zarian of Matman Podcast, a higher-ranked representative from the USA Network, are concerned about the changes, with the perception being these moves will be negative in nature. One individual is quoted saying, "Personally, I'm disappointed with how this is going." He also notes that these U.S. executives are not die-hard wrestling fans. The perception of what WWE is doing means significantly more, with the perception being a negative one. The one will be to prove this opinion wrong, but this is WWE. They could literally burn down people's houses at this point, and the USA Network will wag their finger and just let them get away with it without actually doing anything, even though when they kept saying, "Vince, just let Wyatt run the show. He's violent. We want edgy violence and adult evil violent content. You can do it now. We're letting you do it." Damn it, I don't want to. I got a piece of my stockholders. Damn it. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch is reportedly scheduled to be at SummerSlam. Yes! So, former Raw Women's Champion schedule has been rumored for a number of weeks, and Lynch, according to PW Insider, is scheduled to be by WWE to be at SummerSlam at the Steam in Las Vegas on Saturday, August 21st. So, yeah, there were rumors going out that she was set for return later in October, which would have pissed everyone off, because now it's like, well, why should I even still be here? I could just wait till October. And even then, they'll probably screw it up. So, considering the situation, once Cena's gone, they have virtually no one left. So, and Roman can't keep carrying the show on his own because it's going to get annoying. So we gotta diversify our content. So let's put Becky Lynch on SmackDown and throw her off of Raw with zero explanation. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling Young Lion Yota Tsuji, if I pronounced that right, is heading to Rev Pro Wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling Excursion. Yes! He has traveled to the US. He will compete at the upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence show on August 14th, my birthday, in a tag team match where Leo Rush, Brody King, Chris Dickinson, and Fred Yuta, and another young lion is joining him on this excursion at the LA Dojo, and has competed on Strong. So, yeah, new talent is arriving to the UK scene as part of the excursion. And now, more than ever, with all these partnerships, we can do anything. So, yeah, back to NXT. So, during the August 10th taping of NXT, which had a somewhat high rating, though it looked more like it went back to stability stance of what they're currently at. After the budget cuts and the reported changes that are coming, WrestleVotes reported that there was a horrendously bad mood, saying that the tension was running high, to say the least. Okay, can you be like blunt and tell us that it's like a bloodbath about to start, and NXT is trying their best to hold her together? Because there was a reported incident at the show before the show went on the air. So they do the usual thing. We are NXT! And normally you have the fans chanting of NXT and NXT, NXT. But when the rumors and the reports come out, and these are far more hardcore fans, they scream back, "We were NXT." Yeah, someone reportedly said that. Sean Rossap retweeted that. Yeah, someone was at the show, apparently, and screamed out to them, "We were NXT." As in, no longer the NXT we remember it, because they're going to be turned back to a, quote, farm system, and Booker T's all for that. So, go blame him if you want to go ahead and go crazy if you want to talk about that. On to somewhat more positive news. For CM Punk's in-ring condition and reportedly emerging amid AEW speculation, Punk has, over the past 6 months, been doing his own in-ring training as well as preparing for his role on Star Series Heels. And FITE will select his guy insight to the former champion conditions to some of those that were closer with him at that time. Warren source noted that Punk looked completely healthy in the ring, especially when compared to a situation when WWE departed. Another individual declared that Punk was so smooth when he got back in the ring to the point where people questioned if he had been privately training for a number of months prior to stepping into the ring. A third source noted that he has been working so well, it was like he had never been away for 7 years. Yes! So not only are we at this point looking like it's going to be a guarantee, even Tony Khan slipped on something like that, where he said, I think everyone knows what we're going to be doing in Chicago. Chicago! Ooh. I mean, like, it's kind of obvious. And here's the thing. They sold out that show, the second episode of Rampage, at the United Center, a pretty big venue. And all they had to their name promoting that was their name and references and rumors. Not a single match announced. They sold out. Pre-sale, and then sold out the remaining tickets in 4 minutes. So, one of my buddies gets to experience that. So, yeah, now these sources are saying that basically, so we could be expecting the Shawn Michaels type return, where he looks like he's never lost a step and he still got it. Which means that they will have him at his full power. Let's hope that. So, let's get to the uncomfortable talk. Because that's what we needed on Neo Reality Collective. So, Matt Caster, awesome rapper on AEW TV. I still love the whole call your girl to John Moxley, who says, call your girl, she all in my mentions, trying to hit me up with some oral sessions, whoa, and all that, and I'm just laughing my ass off hearing that, and I go ahead and just loving how crazy this team is. They're on a hot streak. If they keep it cool and don't say anything stupid, then we'll be good. A pity that they did something stupid and horribly pissed everyone off. And now everyone's turning on AEW for how they handled it, as far as we're aware, but let me get back to that in a moment. But so, yeah. Matt Caster's appearances in AEW have reportedly been put on ice following the controversial rap. However, the rap from Dark was, Caster does his typical raps and whatnot. He has a couple of edginess to it, but he doesn't really go too far with this as far as I look. And then this week he decided to say, I'm gonna potentially commit suicide. And probably everything else. He had contained references to Simone Biles' mental health, sexual assault allegations against Duke University's men's I can't pronounce it, team, and fake PCR tests. So, Tony Khan came out after the fallout when everyone was pissed, subsequently described the rep as terrible and admitted that it should have been caught and removed from the show prior to its initial airing. Caster has since removed all references to AEW and the acclaim from his Twitter page, but Final Selector reporting that he is still with the promotion. And according to the reports, appearances is seen as a company put on ice, and Sunday training has been discussed for him. It hasn't necessarily been disclosed what that entailed for Caster, however. So, yeah, this is a very dark subject. The acclaim was even dropped from the rankings. They're no longer in the top 5 following the controversy. So, yeah. Now, here's what people were saying. Now, some reports came out, Ringside News, so you know what to make of that, said that he's been suspended without pay for 2 months. Okay. Do you have, is there another source confirming this? And Fightful Select just denied it. Shara Savas denied it. As far as we're aware of, he's at best still getting paid and, just going to sensitivity training for the moment until things cool down. But, as far as we're aware of, that's at best what's going on. So, look, I was saying this, like, he needs to be held accountable. I get it. I'm getting it. I felt like it. I felt like he would need to be at least held back a little bit on that. And Tony Khan, for some reason, never caught wind of this, which is saying something, which is concerning. Because here's the thing: he said he does not handle the editing process of Dark or Dark Elevation. He doesn't handle being back there for that. He has said Matt Caster goes to him when he presents his Rapid stuff before Dynamite, at least. Okay, I just have... Okay, so all due respect to Tony Khan and everything in AEW, I just have one question. What the hell were you not being... Like, people posted the video a week beforehand because Dark was taped. How did he not notice he was getting multiple tags, multiple mentions in his count, and being told Matt Caster said this, you gotta address it or cut it out entirely? Unless Tony Khan was somehow dead for some reason and then revived again, and then he somehow was just gone for a week. He can just didn't pay attention to Twitter, which is a problem, I think. Because when someone tell him, hey, Matt Caster said this, and everyone's looking uncomfortable about it, like, that just kind of, yeah. Especially since COVID tests, mental health, and sexual assault allegations. Yeah! AEW swiftly responded, though I feel like this should have been responded to, like, when the leaks came out. So... yeah. So this is a very delicate situation. I don't think he should be fired. At best, he should go to sensitivity training should he be suspended with no pay, or if at the very least his money goes to donations. That's one thing. But suspended without pay... like, Sammy Guerrero went through that when an old audio came out on his podcast where he admitted he wanted to do something horrible to Sasha. And he has since apologized to Sasha. Sasha backed him up on that and apologized on social media, on his vlog, and went to sensitivity training. He was gone for like a month. Now, and people kind of just moved on from that. But this is more, but this is kind of a dangerous line to walk on this. So I don't know what they're going to do with Matt Caster down the road. He could be gone for a month. He could be gone for 2 months. He could have been getting paid. He could have not been getting paid. He could probably come out and apologize. We'll have to see whatever goes down. So, moving on from that and uncomfortableness galore, back to, oh god damn it, we're back to uncomfortableness. Activision, the horrible company that makes me want to cry myself to sleep wondering what the hell happened. Rumored Call of Duty 3, Modern Warfare 3 Remastered does not exist. Any reports otherwise are incorrect. Yeah. Do I think they're going to do it? Probably. Are they making it at the moment? With California coming after them and the industry now being pissed off to the extreme? Yeah. Considering what came out. They even lost Coca-Cola and State Farm. Have lost their interest with them after it came out. So, yeah. Meanwhile, at the other currently not exposed company being evil inherently, EA had to build themselves up to be majorly evil, but doing like what the evil of Activision Blizzard did, or Ubisoft. I feel like EA can at least say we haven't had any allegations against us yet, though I wouldn't be surprised if that starts coming out as the industry continues to reveal its poisonous nature. Dead Space Remake reportedly aiming for a fall 2022 release. Okay. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I never played the originals. I'm just hoping they don't go and take back their microtransaction promise and say it's a play mechanics. It's completely different. Completely different. So, be glad for that for now. Rick and Morty Season 5 is getting an hour-long season finale. Yes! So it's going to be an hour-long finale from 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. But God, what will it trail with this? No idea, but it could be insane. Oh man. A double-length special. Can't wait for that, everybody. Meanwhile, Steam doesn't get Steam Deck, the upcoming handheld console thing, and reportedly does not get a performance boost when docked, according to Valve designer Greg Comer. Saying in an interview with PC Gamer, yes, he said yes, but we didn't choose to make it a really high priority design target. We felt it was actually about all things considered to not modify based on dock status or mobile status. Saying that Valve's choice not to implement higher performance features for the dock came as a matter of prioritization. Valve, he explains, has identified the console's highest use case will be of run mobile, so close the threshold where the machine will run well with good frame rate with AAA games in that scenario. We didn't feel like we should target also going after the dock scenario at higher resolution. We want a simpler design target and to prioritize that. So it's not fully like the Switch on that regard. Like, I don't know about, I don't think I'm interested in that. I'm more of a sit-based gaming type. I even tried VR and I was like, such a headache. So, the director of Mobius. Oh god, Mobius. And considering that there's Mobius, yeah, that's the Loki actor character name. Ain't Mobius, because, yeah. Anyways, the director of Mobius might have just wrecked the whole film for everybody. That may have spoiled a cameo that would further connect the movie to other films in the Sony's version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Saying, talking about how this news comes by the way of the direct, which translated an interview Moby Design conducted with the Mobius director. In an interview, he revealed about a potential cameo by Tom Hardy, who plays Eddie Brock in the Venom films. And considering Michael Keaton's in the movie, and he's probably playing Andrew, and he's presumably reprising his role as the Vulture, I think we already know who's the Sinister Six, but we're gonna probably wonder where the hell everyone is. In terms of, wait, where are the event? Well, the Avengers are broken up for a while because Captain America's gone, Iron Man's retired, Iron Man's dead, Natasha's dead, the Hulk's probably on hiding mode, and he's preparing to help his cousin become the next She-Hulk. Captain Marvel's in space, Doctor Strange is cleaning up everyone's multiversal cosmic messes, because of course they did. Thor's in space with the Guardians, and they're about to have a fight to determine who is the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxies, and when I will be renamed to as Guardians of the Galaxies, because that's a thing. But yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be interesting about that, but yeah, it certainly is. Mobius. Meanwhile, for the Jack Forever movie, Bam is suing Paramount and Johnny Knoxville over firing. After he was revealed to have been cut from Jack You Know What Forever back in February, he has now filed a lawsuit against Paramount, Johnny Knoxville, and producer Spike for wrongful termination. This news comes by way of Variety, which reports that the former JA TV series and movie star was fired for allegedly testing positive for Adderall, which violates the terms of the wellness agreement he signed with GA Forever producer. He claims that the lawsuit he's taken Adderall as prescribed medication for 10 years. So yeah, we're kind of in a pickle here. This reminds me of when Roman Reigns was allegedly tested for Adderall, and people were like, well, what if it was medically proved and whatnot? But the wellness policy contradicts that, which is a host of other issues people would say. But I am not a medical expert, so I have no idea, and I do not know what goes on behind the scenes. But we're gonna have to go ahead and wait to see what that goes. We got a ton more news to cover, and we'll be right back after these messages. Take care, everybody. Back, everyone, to Neo Reality Collective. So, back from break, everybody. Let's get right into these and finish this first half of the week off. Xbox is reportedly testing multiple new features on console and PC, with Tom Warren saying Xbox has a new night mode feature. It will dim your screen, control LED, and even the console power button. Full details in video are made on Twitter and everything on YouTube. So, get ready for that. For Windows 10 PC users with access to Xbox Insider Program, Microsoft is introducing Xbox Cloud Gaming, aka xCloud, through the Xbox app, starting today. Previously, Windows 10 device owners had access to Xbox Cloud by going to the Xbox website through a browser to sign in and play the Cloud Gaming beta there. They can now launch it in the Xbox official app by clicking on the Game Pass tab, and a new Cloud Gaming section will appear, showcasing all the titles that support Cloud Gaming. If you do not have access to the test feature, you will still need to head over to the Xbox website and launch the service. As with most insider updates, the feature will be rolled out to those who signed up for the program on either or both platforms, with a full release to be announced later on. Several updates for the Xbox brand have rolled out within the last year, making some much needed improvements. Last month, Microsoft announced an update that will allow parents and caregivers to set spending limits for their kids. Earlier this year, Microsoft rolled out an update on the dashboard, allowing the Series X and S owners to increase download speeds by suspending games. Yes! So, get ready for that. I'm glad Microsoft's really turned around these last few years since the Xbox One debacle. So, Marvel's What If originally had a Spider-Man plotline too dark for the show's PG-13 rating. You do realize you're on your own platform, right, Disney? You can get away with more. I know it's Disney, but come on. They really need to get that big, that adult side to it, the more darker stuff on their side, so they can start adding that kind of content. And like Disney Plus, I get Disney wants to be kid-friendly, but I'm pretty sure having terrorist battles in the Marvel Universe on Disney Plus is clearly not just PG-13 stuff. Or a disparate God man who thinks he's God and wants to purge half the universe in order to go ahead and stop the horrible event that he believes overpopulation will be extinction, which is an understandable thing. He's just going about it the horrible way, or turning Black Panther into an ethical questionable movie, and also a very bordering on Africa versus the world mentality. But yeah, let's not get into that. But yeah, there was originally a Spider-Man plotline too dark for the show. What If writer A.C. Bradley, who related the story to the post-credit podcast, more specifically, the episode was set to feature some Spider-Man-related body horror that would have been too much for the show's PG-13 rating. There were a couple of episodes where the episodes were just too little dark. There was originally a What If run where Spider-Man turns into a real spider, and that was just too dark and too body horror for their PG-13 rating. Oh yeah, we can't do rated R content. It seems like Marvel dodged a bullet. A rated R bullet shaped like a spider, as well as an acrophobia warning. By giving What If a no to that idea, still, it's hard not to wonder what exactly this episode would have been about. Was it more like a What If Spider-Man turned into an actual spider kind of episode, or like a Doc Ock turned Spider-Man to an actual spider with limbs kind of episodes? Would have been interesting. Would have been interesting. Would have been interesting. Meanwhile, the Funimation giant has completed their update on buying Crunchyroll. Now Sony owns both Funimation and Crunchyroll, all in an anime streaming merger for a worth net of nearly $1.2 billion. There's apparently an opportunity for the company to leverage its anime offerings through this PlayStation platform in this update. According to Eurogamer, there's potentially a chance that Crunchyroll will be included as a parts for a more expensive premium PlayStation Plus offering, since Sony's pre-R release has mentioned the global goal of providing a unified subscription experience. So the deal was worth $1.2 billion and topping more than 5 million subscribers on Crunchyroll. saying this will broaden distribution and expand fan-centric offerings for consumers. Starting as following reports, the U.S. Department of Justice was probing the deal for potential antitrust violations. The U.S. government reportedly wished to determine whether or not the deal would give Sony a monopoly over streaming anime. Other streaming services have been investing heavily in anime of late, particularly Netflix. So, the U.S. government gave their blessing, so yeah, take it that what you will. Did they do it genuinely, or was capital greed the almighty dollar days? You make the call! Meanwhile, COVID-19 ravages the world in 2021 because the world sucks and we need to go ahead and prove that we're horrible people. So yeah, I'm still pissed that we're still in this and we almost were close to ending it, but no, we have to go ahead and fuck up at the finish line. PAX in Australia has been cancelled due to the ongoing concerns around the new outbreaks of COVID-19 in the country of Australia. So yeah, PAX Australia is over. Ticket purchasers will receive a refund within the next 7 days, and they're hoping to return for a physical event in 2022. Good job, world. Producer Charles Roven, known for his wide range of work in the DC universe, including the Dark Knight trilogy, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Wonder Woman, and the Justice League that we don't care about, by horrible people, considering the stuff that came out about that movie reshoots, Who has said that the next Justice League movie is likely going to be a number of years away. Speaking in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he spoke about his ties to future DC projects, which would likely include more Suicide Squad and JL films should they happen, saying that he believes his future work would probably take him as far as another Justice League movie. If there was a Batman-involved product like Batman v Superman or Justice League, I would be involved in those. Suicide Squad, I would be involved in those up until a certain amount, and that's kind of where we are. But I still have an affiliation with some more Suicide Squad squads, which I'm thrilled about. I hope James will, when he's got some time, come back and see if he's going to do another one of those. Because if he did such an amazing work, I would definitely be a part of that. Probably in a Justice League movie, although I think that's a number of years away. And also mention how if they did see another Justice League, it would be unlikely Zack Snyder's take, and I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow decommissioned the 2017 version as canon and just go ahead and say reboot. Part of the whole reunification of everything. So yeah, and saying how the studio's been aggressively anti-Zack Snyder because I don't know, he kicked a puppy. Like, I'm still baffled. Like, what did Zack Snyder exactly do that was so horrible, other than get people mad at him over his directorial choices? Something that Disney got pissed off at, and then they turned around and reshot everything essentially. And plus, there was no saving the sequel trilogy by that point. Still, my opinion on that. If you like it, that's perfectly fine. But still. But yeah, U.S. politicians call on developers to reduce predatory game design, so basically microtransaction and loot boxes. So let's move on from that. U.S. politicians have written letters to a dozen companies asking them to better protect young people from online risk and predatory game design. How about you just threaten them? The UK threatened them, and they got away with a technicality that could ultimately be reversed soon. So, yeah. They can change it. Just threaten them with an investigation. California did that to Activision Blizzard, and look how that's turned out. Several people are fired. The president of Blizzard has been kicked out. So, yeah, and other people are, and everything else is falling apart. So, yeah, why not just threaten them with legal action? Have the might of the U.S. government come in and kick their effing asses. And then we get unionization boards so we can have some protection for the employees. Val Kilmer goes ahead and speaks about reflecting on the challenges he faced on Batman Forever, particularly when suing up to play the Dark Knight. According to comicbook.com, Killer reminisced about his time on the set, just that playing Batman was quite different from fantasizing about being the hero, saying, "I was shocked and in disbelief, mostly because I had just been exploring a remote Batcave. By Hollywood standards, Batman is the ultimate leading role in a dream come true. I took part without even reading the script, but whatever boys' excitement I had going in was crushed by the reality of the Batsuit." You signed up without a script, without looking at the script. Like, I know Liam Neeson did that for the prequels, but at least he has improved, and people love Qui-Gon now more than ever. But okay. When you're in it, you can barely move, and people have to help you stand up and sit down. You also can't hear anything, and after a while, people stop talking to you. It's very isolating. It was a struggle for me to get to a performance past the suit. It was frustrating until I realized that my role in the film was just show up and stand where I was told to. Kilmer elaborated further on his performance and likened playing Batman to acting in soap opera. Though he has indicated that his co-stars were not as restricted by their costumes, he said fellow Batman Forever actors Tommy Lee Jones, who played Two-Face, and Jim Carrey, who portrayed the Riddler, managed to deliver huge performances in their villainous roles. Saying that had designed this whole performance, it was just so huge, I think it made no difference what I was doing. I tried to be like an actor on a soap opera, the way I would turn to Nicole, go count how many times I put my hands on my hips. I don't know how I come up with the style acting, but they seem to go to soap opera school. And now Robert Pattinson is set to continue on the legacy, and we don't know when we'll just see Michael Keaton's Batman come back and Ben Affleck's Batman come back for the big Flash movie. Yeah, that's a thing. So get ready for that. So DC Comics is set to reprint a series of books into Omnibus. We got the 52 weekly comic Omnibus selling for $300 on out since they're out of print, The Death and Return for Superman, and Teen Titans by Jeff Johns. Yeah, probably bad timing to do that, man. So yeah, 2022 is set to release The Death and Return of Superman Omnibus, Teen Titans by Jeff Johns in 2022, and 52, which was the collective weekly comic book event by the award-winning writers of Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, Gray Rucka, and Mark Waid. Teen Titans by Jeff Johns seems pretty bad timing considering there's an actor who's still pissed off at him, and he was playing Cyborg, a character that Jeff Johns wrote in the comics. But what do I know? Besides, they did sell well in their time. Anyways. So yeah. These are set to sell in May and in mid-July. So May 10th, May 31st, and July 19th, respectively, for Death and Return of Superman, Teen Titans by Jeff Johns, and 52. All the Omnibus, and get ready for craziness to ensure. Meanwhile, DC Comics continues their format of absolutes by putting DC Comics' metal event, Dark Knight's Metal, and finally Absolute Doomsday Clock. A comic that I kind of enjoy, despite it being a quote Watchmen sequel, although I feel I go ahead and reinterpret that as a Watchmen imagining, because that's just his interpretation of how things would have went in the Watchmen universe, as opposed to being a full-fledged sequel, because now we got the Watchmen HBO Max series that did that, being its own interpretive viewpoint on everything. So 3 people are running around being Dr. Manhattan. Well, for my best take, these are 2 different intersecting multiverse versions of this universe, the central Watchmen timeline being the ambiguousness of how it all ended. If Alan Moore went back and went ahead and worked on what he would have done for Watchmen, had he written a sequel and a prequel, then we would have gotten his interpretation, which would have been his definitive version because it was his creation, along with Dave Gibbons. But yeah, Jeff Johns' 496-page, nearly 500-page Absolute Doomsday Clock is finally getting the absolute treatment for June 14, 2022, along with Dark Knight's Metal for May 1st, 2022 for 400 pages, featuring featuring the 12-issue maxi series of Doomsday Clock, while Metal will have all the issues of Dark Knight's Metal, along with Batman Lost #1, Director's Cut of #1 of Dark Knight's Metal, and Dark Knight's Rising, The Wild Hunt. I would also have liked more if we had brought in the Batman Who Laughs one-shot just for his sake, because of the amount of impact he would have on the DC Universe for the next several years after his appearance. Also, as we continue to have more shocking moments happening in the world of comics, James Tynion IV has announced he's quitting Batman and DC Comics. Yeah. So, he wrote on his newsletter, DC had presented me with a 3-year renewal of my exclusive contract with the intent of me working on Batman for the bulk of that time. I was grateful for that offer, but I couldn't help but look at the success of my original creator-owned titles and wonder if it was the right choice. And then I received another contract, the best I've ever been given in a decade as a professional comic book writer. A grant from Substack to create a new slate of original comic book properties directly on their platform that my co-creators and I would own completely. With Substack taking none of the intellectual property rights or even the publishing rights, given my bandwidth, I knew I could only pick one of 2 contracts sitting in front of me. So, yeah, Substack's really gunning for the big writers. Nick Spencer was the first prominent creator to do so, and he had to say goodbye to Spider-Man to do it. So that goes ahead and continues that run, and goes ahead and going ahead and talking about this project and whatnot. So yeah, James Tynion IV has left Batman after he leaves the events of Fear State. He is done, and also finishes up Joker in April. So yeah, I was shocked when I heard this. I really was like, man, many of these writers are leaving. Well, he is opening a new. So James Tynion IV and Michael Oeming's Blue Book, a Substack in September. As part of the new Substack gave that he is quitting Batman and Joker for on his newsletter, he announced the first of new Substack comic books. The Blue Book, a new UFO comic book drawn by Michael Oeming and lettered by, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. So, after getting the Substack deal, that's just what James Tynion did, writing an email to saying this whole idea of what he was going to do. Ooh, and he agreed only if he could actually draw it all. So, yeah, first big series. He also launches his Substack comics publisher for $7 a month. Part of the deal is that you get access to everything, every comic, every post, early bird access to special covers and merchandise. For $75, you still get access, but pay $9 less over the course of the year. Here, I'm also going to run a special deal. Everyone who signs up for an annual payment option in the first 24 hours is going to get a signed single comic book in the mail that I'm going to pull from my storage locker. I'm going to try and nab you some goodies and some rare covers I have extras of, etc. No guarantees, no requests, no promises, but they're going to be perfect 9.8s or anything, but no promises about that, but I'm going to try and dig up some gems. And there's something special called the Founders Tier, which I don't know how long I'm going to keep open, so nab a spot while you can. This is a super fancy deluxe edition for $250 a year. You get access to everything I've laid out, but you will also receive 6 extremely exclusive covers from 6 different projects over the course of next year that will not be made to any other sales platform. They won't be on the web store. They won't be available to pay subscribers. Monthly or otherwise. The only way you can get those 6 covers from me is to sign up for this option. So, yeah. Can't wait for that. Meanwhile, Scott Snyder is the next big writer to go ahead and join up with the Substack initiative. Not only that, he has a deal with Comixology and Dark Horse into launching his new Substack writing class, just as former writers James Tynion IV and everyone else mentions in his alumni that Julie Jones, Michael Maurice, Phil Kennedy Johnson, and Matt Rosenberg, etc., etc., etc. And now he's taking it all online for a fee, and how much? For $7 or $75 a year, less than. You get everything on a monthly plan and access to 4 exclusive live streams where we'll connect more directly and I'll answer your questions about all things comic related for the $35 thing. And for $7 a month, you'll get access to everything in teaching, monthly live classes, the archive classes, plus teaching chips I'm going to put up once a week or so. Folks who sign up in the first 40 hours will be able to get 4 live streams with me, more of these below. Oh, so yeah, I am, man, everything's just going crazy over there. Not only that, but another writer's joining up the Substack group, Jonathan Hickman, and he seems to be hinting that he quit X-Men for this, for a project called 3 Worlds, 3 Moons, a concept universe, and we mean this exactly the same way as a concept album where all the individual character stories and things we create together add up to be parts of a much larger whole. He also reveals that these ideas were initially part of his X-Men stuff, how they had to go digital when the whole comic book industry went on pause. Not only that, Al Ewing, the person who does all the cosmic stuff lately at Marvel, Tina Howard, and Ram V, going ahead and revealed that they had designed the various religious systems of each world and moon, the magic system, and Ram V created the design economic model, both black markets and white, for the universe. Oh man, this is pretty amazing. So, yeah, we don't know if Hickman does indeed leave the X books, but it does look like it's going to go that route. And Inferno does seem to be the final chapter in the saga, but I would have loved more to see him stick around. But we'll have to see where that goes, or if he'll be in a part-time position. So, we got a checklist featuring all the Fear State comics, which confirms the secret files in the Omega issue set for November. So, yeah. Massive set of series. Now, if we get an Omnibus, that's going to probably be crazy. And plus, we're going to get a Captain America team and Iron Man team up for November miniseries that will go ahead and iron out their beefs against each other for some reason. So, this is being written by Derek Landy and art by Angel Usen. You can't pronounce that name. And covered by Alex Ross, set for November. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to explore the dynamic and history of their group, of the two, as they go up against a mysterious new threat from Hydra. So, that's going to be probably awkward. So, with all this stuff going on with James Tynion and all the Reeves shoots they're doing with Batman soon, who's next? Who's going to write the Bat books? Well, we do know one thing. George Jimenez is staying on DC Comics as Batman. The artist is sticking around. So, there's been speculation about who will replace him as the head Batman writer or even take over the current showrunning role across the Bat books. Some people speculate that existing Bat book writers are Tom Taylor, Ram V, Stephanie Phillips, Becky Cullen, John Ridley, or at this stage it could even be Gail Simone and Coates, just not Donny Cates because he's all doing stuff with Marvel. It's even possible that DC hasn't nailed it down yet, but one person who is nailed down is George Jimenez. George Jimenez has been the lead Batman writer on the main book as an artist, especially with superstar colorist Tommy Morty, has made Batman one of the best looking superhero comics on the stands right now when it comes to inked and color comic books rather than painted works. It's regularly down to him and Pepe Larraz on X-Men, and right now delivering that explosive, high quality, detailed, kinetic energy, character expression look that makes the best mainstream superhero comics. There's also RB Sylvia, but we got Pepe Larraz. Saying in a post, and for those who are asking if I stay on Batman after Fear State and James's departure from the series, the answer is yes, I will stay in Batman. And I hope you like Fear State and what's to come later too. Thanks. And Mitch Gredd said good. So, as for Tynion leaving, he says working with James IV on Batman is an incredible experience. He's a very brave and creative writer. I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and I hope I wish that he's happy in his new adventure. But I know I will be like that because James, you are amazing. Thank you so much, George. Urge, it's been a dream working with you on Gotham. Can't wait for everyone to see what we got in store for them in our big finale. It's and whatnot. Not only that, but the DC round robin is over, and it's been announced that the Robins have won. Because of course we need to end this with a pun. So it's going to feature Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Stephanie Brown, because we keep forgetting that Stephanie Brown was a Robin. Now, can we get Carrie Kelly here? That's the one thing I want. I want Carrie Kelly officially in continuity because she's an awesome character. So, can we do that? 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 I'm asking too much, aren't I? Like, they keep teasing she exists in the continuity, she just doesn't show up. Unless, it's in possible future routes. Meanwhile, Robin and Batman celebrates the evolution of Batman's ally in a Robin and Batman comic, another three-issue miniseries written by Lemire, who wrote Sweet Tooth, and artist Dustin Nguyen, and who did Batman artwork, are reunited after their incredible run on Descender and Ascender for Batman and Robin, a three-issue miniseries exploring the beginning of Dick Grayson's crime-fighting career. So this is him when he started out, and we'll be exploring the character as in this other stage, and it's set to be a prestige format series. Yeah. So I'm excited for all these comic stuff. We got more comics news coming later this week on the Saturday edition, which will be a birthday celebration. Yay! So that's all the time we have for this week, and I certainly can't talk about more about this because there's a lot of stuff breaking out. But we'll talk about the last half of this week's worth of news for the Saturday edition on the 21st on August 14th. This was Neo Reality Collective. Feel free pop culture news, talk, and reviews. Feel free to check out my other content if you wish, and like and follow this content if you wish. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you all next time, along with some bonus material down the road. Peace and take care.
Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniverse.